14-year-old Texas teen choked by mother for not wearing hijab in social media post. In Kingwood, Texas, a disturbing incident highlighting the grave implications of honor violence came to light when a Muslim woman, uh, Sitar Mazhar Khan, was arrested for allegedly assaulting her teenage daughter. Honor violence, deeply rooted in various cultural and religious communities with conservative traditions, is driven by the motive to safeguard or reclaimed perceived honor. Such acts often resolve around victims' behaviors that are deemed to breach cultural or religious norms. In this case, Khan reportedly assaulted her 14-year-old daughter after seeing her without a hijab on Instagram, an act she might have perceived as dishonorable. Oh, okay, guys, and I just wanna say that in a second, there's gonna be a pretty bad description of childhood abuse, so if this is triggering for you, just wanna give you a heads up. The hearing officer stated the defendant, upset that the complainant did not wear her hijab at school, beat and choked the complainant, causing her to lose consciousness. Additionally, Khan is accused of burning her daughter for overcooking pita bread. This tragic incident serves as a reminder of the continuous presence and dangers of honor violence, even in Western nations, with victims often targeted for actions that are deemed to violate deeply held cultural or religious norms. Oh my God. So I really wanted to talk about this news. I think it is very important to talk about stories like this because a lot of people don't know and they don't understand that honor violence happens in the United States. And before we dig into this, I want to make a few things clear. Okay, she has not been found guilty. These are charges brought against her in a court of law. So at this moment, everything we describe is alleged. And I just want to, that's how the system of law works here. These are allegations against her. Um, and I also want to make something else clear. When the police reported on this, when American media reported on this, they did not frame this as honor violence. I would like to make it clear that it is my assertion and belief that if these allegations are true, they likely happened from the basis of, you know, lack of honor, a desire to get back honor. Um, so I just want to, I want to be clear about what is our angle and then how other people are reporting it, right? I think that's responsible. Um, and it makes me so upset as an American to know that there are children that are citizens in my country that are exposed to this level of harmful tradition. I'm very happy to see that the authorities are taking this seriously. I don't know if they're framing this in their own internal investigations through the lens of honor violence. I hope that they are. Um, and I'm also very frustrated to see that in a few different places where this was reported on, they don't highlight the fact that she was choked unconscious for not wearing hijab. Like there were several news sources that would bury that in the article. And I think again, I speculate that this is an effort to not demonize a certain community. I would say that if we are not honest about the behaviors, the harmful traditions that occur in certain communities, and if we don't call it out, then they're not going to end. And if that's true, then we're failing to safeguard children and vulnerable citizens. um, and oh, I want to read this comment by Zaid. Said, if it's about hijab, of course it's about honor. Most Muslims don't care what Allah thinks, they care about what other Muslims think of them. Oh, collectivist cultures do be like that. But Armin, I remember when I first found out about this news, I came to you like that same day and I was talking about it. And what's your reaction to this?
Well, I mean, this constantly keeps happening on. It's not by accident that I think this is obviously honor based, right? Like if you don't want to categorize this honor based, like hijab is honor culture, is modesty culture and honor culture. So any parental violence towards their children over not wearing hijab is honor violence, right? And I think, correlation is not always causation, but correlation really hints at causation, especially if you could identify the cause, like if you could explain the cause, or if you could show the correlation, and also you have a good theory that has explanatory power and doesn't contradict other data that you have, then in that case, your correlation does very much suggest causation. And the correlation is that this constantly happens more. And I'm not saying it just based on stories that we cover, based on statistics, right? Based on scientifically collected data, there is a very high correlation between these types of violence and abuse and Islamic communities. So in this case, Islam is the cause for sure.
I think
Yeah.
when I first found out about this news, anyone that follows me on Instagram, by the way, link is in the description, probably saw me post about this on my stories because I was saying, like, yes, honor violence does happen in America. There's not a lot of awareness about this. And a lot of times when instances like this happen, a lot of PC progressive types kind of want to pull the wool over their eyes and like act like what they're seeing isn't exactly what they're seeing. And so I posted this on I had so many thoughts about this and I wrote this and I posted this on my stories. And I think it really just summarizes the way I think about it. I said vulnerable people will always be abused wherever harmful traditions follow. We must never abandon our duty of care and protection to the vulnerable in the name of cultural sensitivities or, quote, hurt religious sentiments. When we, the so called Westerners, free societies, whatever you want to call it, etc., do so, we are tacitly allowing the deadly abuse of others simply because they have ancestry from a different part of the world. Treatment that we would utterly reject if perpetrated on children that looked like us, spoke our language, shared our culture. That's racist. These behaviors, informed by harmful tradition, need to be full throatedly and unapologetically called out as backwards, and we must demand that they are abandoned. Harmful traditions are only changed and left behind because they are forced to by the presence of and competition with better ideas. And I really wanted to say that because I think a lot of people that aren't involved in the issues that our community obviously cares about, like if you're part of our community, like you're involved in these issues, you're cared about these issues, you already know, right? But a lot of people don't know. And the problem is if there are good-hearted people that in the name of not wanting to be xenophobic or wanting to be a misconstrued idea of multicultural, or if they don't want to be what they perceive to be racist or bigoted, they will try to excuse this or be like, oh, well, it's not because of this culture, and it's not because or it's it's part of their culture, or then it's not part of religion, and they basically make excuses for it and they make exceptions for it because these people come from a different part of the world than the dominant society. And if people do that, then they are not going to be part of the tide swell that is going to force change. And so the only way to create change that is going to over time ensure the safeguarding of children We cannot make excuses. We cannot try to um like navigate this middle ground. Like you have to just be fully like, no, this is unacceptable. No ifs, ands, or buts. How do you make child abuse acceptable? Or, oh, it just it's well, that's part of their culture, that's how they are, blah blah blah. And this is supposed to be the well-meaning people. That's so racist. Like, so I really wanted to highlight this story because I want people to know that this does happen in the quote unquote Western world, that there are no excuses for it. And my thoughts about how, as a society, if you live like in my society or whatever, how we need to combat this. Um, yeah, those are my thoughts. I'm not gonna let some girl be abused because she didn't wear hijab in a social media post. Oh, because that's where they come from. Blah blah blah. No, 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 no. She's a citizen in my country. She has rights, and I hope that the Texas authorities are ensuring that she's not being exposed to further violence. Because sometimes, when CPS gets involved, and depending on who the child is placed with, the fact that the authorities are now involved can um, put them back in danger. Each situation is different, but I think she's in the care of Child Protective Services right now. And so that was, yeah, Lucifer Christ is saying, really shocked these things happen in the United States. Thought things like this only happen in my country. Well, yeah, like I said, vulnerable people are abused wherever harmful traditions follow. And people bring harmful traditions from all over the world.
Right. So I want to respond to some comments. First of all, Newman had to go because this was uh, triggering him because of the experience he himself had before. And I
Yeah, I'm
just wanted
sorry,
to
Newman.
highlight this for people to know how real these experiences are. People have, how common they are. Pakistan Defense Force is saying when brown parents abuse their kids, it's because of religion. But when white parents do it, it's just bad people. It's very interesting that he's saying this on our show. This is a criticism. He's like, "Why are you blaming Islam?" Basically, like this
You
is
know how
just.
many white people
Um,
abuse their kids
yeah,
because of
let
religion?
me.
It's a lot.
Yeah. Let me make my point, please. It's weird that he's saying this on our show, given that we have covered Christian parents beating their children for Christianity, and we have
For
white
years.
Christian parents for years, and we have identified that being because of religion as well, and especially when we have covered news where people were not politicians were trying to stop laws being passed against beating children, where they cited the Bible, came and cited a Bible verse as an excuse. We covered that. So
That was in the
maybe
Oklahoma State Senate. People were saying, can we remove this part of the statute that allows you to use corporal punishment against disabled children? Let me be clear,
right,
guys. It was not even all children. It was, let's stop beating the disabled ones. And they were like, no, because the Bible tells me so. What?
right. Like it's so stupid. Like Pakistan Defense Force comes here with the worst takes on a show that we have consistent again. We haven't been hypocritical like this. We have been calling out. I don't know why why do you don't notice how we try to be as consistent as possible, and I don't know why it's not being noticed by people like you. I don't understand. Also, Shikha with the bad take here, Shikha is saying, what I feel is that a lot of us here are more interested in Islam bashing than protecting the child from violence. I mean, why are you saying that here? When we are identifying Islam as a problem, is because you have to go to the source. If you want to protect the children, then you have to identify the cause instead of just, you know, how do you protect how do you protect more children from being harmed like this? You have to understand what are the factors that is making this possible. What are the elements that needs to be fought against? It is because of religion. Saying She's saying my first empathy is the girl and then some cultural backwardness. Well, if your empathy is with the girl, then you have to identify Islam as a problem if you genuinely care about the victims. So there's that. And we got a do you want to read the super chat?
Oh, um, we got a super sticker. Thank you from SSSPPP. And then we also got a
Thank you.
super chat from Gasian American. Thank you, Gasian, saying, is there a verse or hadith similar to the spare the rod, spoil the child? Uh, which is like a verse in the Bible.
Well, we have a wife beating verse in the Quran, chapter 4, Surah Nisa, verse 34. Right? If you want me, I could. I mean, I've showed this verse so many times, where Allah commands you to beat your wife. It doesn't even
That's
say that
different
it's
in
allowed.
I
Yeah.
mean, it's not directly related to the
Well,
children.
he said similar. He didn't say
Oh, okay.
exact. So I was just telling you there's wife beating. Yeah. Um. Yeah. So there's that.
When there's
But
also
for
the edicts, I think what I don't like
oh,
about
hadith. You were
Abrahamic
talking hadith.
what I don't like about
He's also
Abrahamic faiths is that they really promote this idea of the parents owning the children. Like you see this in the
mm,
Bible, you see this in Islam. It's like very clear that the parents own the children. And I think that's a very, very dangerous mentality because it excuses and tacitly allows for a lot of abuse. And guys, please like this stream because YouTube hates the A word, okay? And we've said it a lot. And this is important to cover, and we're not going to not talk about important things because of the algorithm gods, okay? So help us fight not only the theistic gods, but also the algorithm gods and like this stream.
all right. So Zayd is saying there is a hadith that goes something like hang the whip where your household fan sees it. So I don't know about this hadith, but Zayd is confirming that there is a hadith that is kind of promotes child abuse. And also, by the way, I just want to show um how bad Pakistani Defense Forces takes are. So it's saying, Armin and Susanna, my mom beat me and I never thought it was abuse. It's called discipline. So
Oh god.
see, Pakistan Defense Force is actually promoting child abuse. You see how, by the way, Pakistan Defense Force is not even a Muslim, but you say how Islam has rotted his mind. This is he still thinks Islamically.
I don't even think
But
this
just
is an
understand,
Islamic thing. I think
it is.
this is and I wanna actually be compassionate here. A lot of people that
Mm,
have experienced assaults and abuse by their parents rationalize it to
mm.
help make their experience
Yes,
manageable psychologically.
yes,
They're
yes,
like,
yes,
"Well,
yes.
my parents beat me and I'm fine. Look at how I am." And you, like, look at them and you're like, "But you're not fine, though."
Yeah, but the
And so
parents beating
I
him.
actually wanna be really compassionate because, I'm I'm sorry that you suffered assault at the hands of your parents. Um,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
you shouldn't have
But if
been
you
treated that
consider,
way.
but if you do continue to promote child abuse in the live chat, I will ban you. Just a warning for you,
Oh,
right?
100%.
Um, yeah, yeah, yeah. I know. I'm sorry that your mom abused you as a child, and your mom is horrible for doing that to you, and I'm sad for you that that happened to you. But if you do continue to promote that, I will ban you. What was I saying? Oh yeah, but
Well,
I
he's
still think
saying if
what
they
you said.
beat you hard, then it's abuse. If it's a light beating, then it's not.
No, it's still abuse.
Yeah,
It's
so I
still
think that's
abuse.
worthy of a ban.
Yeah. Um. Also, what was I saying? It's still Islam. What you said is correct. It doesn't contradict what I said because the mother, this is in Pakistan. The mother was beating him. Like look at where it started, and then eventually it led to what we're talking about here. Also, we got another super chat.
Oh, thank you.
Mhm. Oh, we got two super chats.
Oh, Reincarnation Entertainment gave us £5. Thank you. This is so sweet. He said, please consider donating, guys. These two are the best atheists. Well,
No.
thank you. It's not a competition, but I will take it today. Okay. And
Yeah,
actually,
yeah, yeah.
guys, this is a good reminder that
Thank you.
Atheist Republic,
Thank
is
you.
working towards financial security. So if you want to make sure that this show and this program can continue in the way that you love, consider becoming a monthly donor on PayPal. That's the best way to support us right now. And link to become a monthly donor is right in the description, and that would help us so much.
Mm.
And we got another super chat. Wow, thanks for letting them come in, guys. Seed of Iblis is saying, use this donation to buy Armin his own Mr. Bean mug to match Susie's. Oh, we like my Rowan Atkinson mug. It says Babe Magnet. Hell yeah.
Listen.
Thank you.
Oh, we got another super chat from Asian American. Did you see this one? Did you highlight
Oh,
this one?
yeah. Wait, I didn't see this one. Asian American is saying, Chinese people own our kids too. Crying emoji, sweat smile emoji. Yeah.
Yeah.
Guys,
Yeah.
let's remember
So, by
that
the way,
parents do not own their children. They are not masters over their children. They are their guardians, but children have their own
yes,
separate rights. They have
right, right.
rights. Well, maybe not in all countries, but they should. They international covenants say that they should have rights.
Yeah, let me just make something clear. So, some people might think that showing that other non-Islamic cultures, like Christian culture, Chinese culture, that they also beat the children because of their backwardsness, because of their conservatism, because of them not progressing. This proves my point that Islam is responsible. It doesn't. Okay, these are all affecting, Islam, Christianity, traditionalism in China. These are all slowing progress, right? So if it's traditionalism and conservatism in China, it's Islam in Pakistan. Whatever is standing in the way from a society progressing to higher standards, that in that society, that is what's causing these things to happen more often. In Pakistan, in Iran, in Bangladesh, that would be Islam. So this does not contradict what I'm saying. Do you know who makes the most amazing, gorgeous, and other adjectives that I can't use here on YouTube, blasphemous art ever? We do! And for some reason, we are giving it away for free. Download them now using the link in the description before we change our mind.